So fuckers.
Jake, listen to my song.
Oh yeah, I will right now.
Once David comes back, we can continue the discussion of meaning.
Yeah, dude, the suspense is killing me.
Najib, you been delivering?
Dude,
Yeah.
I just got accepted today.
Hey.
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna watch like a YouTube video for like how to do it on a bike.
Make
I
sure
made $80 yesterday in 3 hours.
Damn, that's
Nice.
pretty good.
Jake,
That's really good.
save 15% of everything you make.
Yeah, just save it all.
Bro, I have to spend it though.
Yeah, you spend it on tax season.
Yes. Wait, Jake,
Bro,
let me ask you
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Dude, did they lower the cost
No.
of your tuition?
No,
They didn't.
it's the same.
So why the
Last
fuck
year
did mine went down?
Yours went down. Maybe mine
Oh.
went down. For what tuition?
Yeah, mine for the semester it was like 4,500, and now it's down to 3,000.
Whoa.
It
That's
probably
it.
did get
fucking
reduced a little
3K
bit.
a semester?
Yeah,
It probably did get reduced a little bit.
dude, they're like Lebanese kids, bro. Like, in my application, there was a whole thing where it was like, how do you contribute to our culture at the University of Minnesota? I just went on a rant.
All right, so David, why is it meaningful right now? Or what do you find
Why is
meaningful?
life meaningful? I don't know. I just feel like I've been really enjoying making music, and that gives me a purpose. And I feel like having an effect on other people's life is what makes my life meaningful.
Mhm.
You know, like somebody being like, "Oh, that song was sick," or whatever. And then also just like making like valuable like relationships, like Taylor, like you guys, like some other friends, progressing like my art. Like there's a lot of things that like give me purpose.
I guess what Isaac was trying to say was, does life have meaning, or do you have to give it meaning?
I think you have to give it meaning.
So when you think life's meaningless?
So life's meaningless. All right. In other words, there's no.
Well, I feel like that doesn't mean like life's meaningless.
I think it's what you make of it though.
Yeah, it's like what you make
That's
of
the
it,
existential point of view.
So
But it's still meaningless.
There's no objective meaning, man. It's just whatever you make of it. It's just whatever you make up your own meaning.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, I feel like, with
But I
like,
think life has meaning too.
Where do you get where?
I feel
Well,
like
I think
life's meaning is like morals.
Where does morals come from? You don't believe in God?
Genetics.
So then meaning would be valuable according to genetics.
Yes.
Morals
I don't
come.
know.
What were you gonna say, Jake?
Me? Oh, I was just saying I think they both life has meaning and you make the meaning.
Why does life have meaning? Why does life
Why?
actively have meaning?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone could like ever like put their finger on like what the meaning is, but I think there is meaning.
I mean, religious people do
I
that.
think it's way beyond.
That's like an age-old question. Like, what is the meaning
Yeah.
of life? Like
Yeah.
I feel like that's a very typical like.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, nobody ever really be able to answer the question, and I feel like it's kind of the part of the thing is like, although we'll never know the meaning of life, like in the end, I feel like the meaning of life is what you make of it, in the sense of like, but that doesn't make it meaningless. It just means like everybody individually has their own meaning that gives them purpose, or no meaning they kill themselves, but to each
So
their own.
this is the Aristotelian or
Aristotle.
yeah, but there's a word.
Aristotelian.
What is it, dude? Aristotelian. No, it's not. That doesn't sound right. It's something like
I think
that.
it is.
It's his name. It's his name. Thinking. Where like so what would a knife? How would a knife get its purpose? What's the purpose of a knife?
To cut things.
Because it's uniquely good at cutting things. Right?
Yeah.
So then he says, what are humans uniquely good at? And he would say, we're uniquely good at rationalizing. So he said the meaning of life for humans is to rationalize. And then I think it was William James, probably not, I don't know, but some later philosopher also added to that we're uniquely good at being creative. And so you could also have a meaning in creating stuff because we're uniquely good at that. You follow that logic?
Wait, what?
No.
I think so.
So like, what's the purpose of a tree seed, a pine cone?
So, so like a tree has like or like a knife has a one purpose, or has like a uniquely good purpose, but humans' uniquely good purpose is to be creative.
I still think that's.
Is that what you're saying?
That could be. I still think that's subjective.
No, yeah, I don't agree with it. I'm just
That's
saying,
still subjective. I mean,
I'm laying out different arguments.
well, what did you
That's
say
a
about
common one though.
what did you say about the pine? Never mind. Yeah.
So like a pine cone, people would say that the purpose, or Aristotle would say the purpose is to become a tree.
Some people would say that they would eat it.
Huh?
Pine cone. Some people would say that they would eat it.
Wait, do
Some
pine
people
cones
would
become
say that
trees?
They want to put it in a jar and just stare at it. Some people
Yeah, they
would say
become pine trees.
it's all
Like the
subjective.
basically.
Unless we're talking biological meaning.
dude, I thought
Or
pine
bi-
cones were just like tree shit.
What the hell?
What?
That's hilarious, dude.
You should
Dude,
know.
I thought pine cones were just like tree shit.
Wait, are pine cones seeds?
Bro,
Yeah,
you didn't know that either?
I just heard
Jake?
there were seeds.
No,
I mean, dude, I
pine
never
cones
really
aren't.
thought about it, but now that I thought of, like, I was able to, like,
Pine cones aren't
they
seeds.
were based on common sense once I thought about it.
Pine cones are fruits. Inside
Or fruits.
of them, the seeds.
Oh.
Seeds inside of them.
Oh,
Basically.
really?
Do like little animals eat pine cones?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I
you
see
can't
like
eat them, but
cones.
they're basically fruits. You can eat the seeds inside of them. Dude, I spent 2 months helping my grandparents break a bunch of pine cones, like the really big ones, not the ones we have here, but like the big ones, like the
Are they
Christmas
good?
decoration one. Taking the seeds out, and we'd fucking sell them for like a pound would sell for $25.
Really?
No, $50.
Did you ever try them?
No, $25. $30.
Did you
What
ever
do you-
try
no,
the pine cone seeds?
Do I ever try them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my mom's been cooking with them since I was a little kid. So
Are they good?
No,
What do they taste like?
I don't really
Oh, they're
like
not good? Dude, pumpkin
they're
seeds.
good. They're good if you want to eat them like that. But I mean, it's expensive shit. A handful is like $5.
Damn.
But
Yeah.
they're good in like rice and stuff. All right. Yeah, continue.
So that's one view of meaning that I used to have, but it's also subjective. But I think it's kind of a romantic idea. But I think it just, the thing about science, the one fault with science is you can't, it doesn't measure subjective experience, which is the one thing it can't measure, you know? And I think you can subjectively just experience meaning in your own life, kind of how what David was saying, where there's no logic behind it because it's all first person subjective, but you can feel it. You can't measure it, but you feel it.
Yeah.
So it's not scientific. And
What do you mean by it's not scientific?
like there's
You
no
can't
way to
measure it.
measure it or put it into words because it's all subjective. So by that definition, science would be no use to it. Or talking about it or trying to explain it. But subjectively, when I take acid, I feel meaningful. Or if I think Jordan Peterson talks about this. It's almost when you're in between the realm of chaos and order, and you kind of are just right in the middle line, which is like when you're in flow state, I think. And I think that's when I at least feel.
Would you associate being meaningless with being depressed or suicidal?
No,
Yeah.
but I think if you don't have meaning, it leads to that.
So you do associate with them.
Yeah, but I think there's depressed people that have a meaningful life. Like, feel it.
Well, but I also feel like it's important for the people to recognize that they like their life is good too. Because if like they don't recognize that their life is valued, then their life isn't valued.
I mean, I would consider myself like I'm not really happy that I mean I'm like just neutral pretty much most of the day.
I've been cruising recently.
Like
What? What'd you say, David?
I've just been like so neutral like the last like week.
well,
Like
that's-
I'm content with life, but I'm not like it's just fine. Like it's very okay right now, and I'm like it's okay. Yeah, it's just okay. But
well, that's how humans
Dude.
are. It's the hedonic treadmill.
Freaking love my life, man. I just
Dude,
wish.
I've honestly been having
That's
such
what I
a
was going
blast
on.
this whole quarantine.
What?
Ever since Corona hit, I've been having a blast.
I was
Dude,
having
I
a great
fucking-
time a month ago, but nowadays it's just kind of died down. Like I'm seeing the same people doing the same shit. There's no new in my life. That's the problem.
Dude,
You're
I've
not in
already
the
met
balance
like
between chaos and order, dude.
Yeah, I need some more chaos, dude. I really need some more chaos.
wait, Isaac.
Yeah.
Are you gonna trip with your parents?
Yeah, in, like a
I
year.
forgot about that. Any
Wait,
year.
what'd you
okay.
say? In a year?
We're probably gonna go to Mexico or something and do it.
How did that
Alright, so tell me
conversation
this
go?
meeting Stuff.
So we were driving, and it was right after Autumn said that she was pregnant, but she's not. She bled today, so I think.
Oh shit.
But which is kind of sad, but it's whatever. So we were driving home from that and I kind of wish that didn't happen because like I was planning on telling them, and they were like, oh, because I wanted to tell them before I came back, and it was the last day. So I was like, well, I guess I just have to go for it. I guess it's just a day that we're gonna find out a lot of stuff. So we were sitting in silent, and do you guys ever get that feeling when you're gonna tell your parents something, and you're just like running all the situations in your head, and like time's moving really slow. It was going like that, and it was probably silent for like 5 minutes, and I was like, "Hey guys, I have something to tell you."
Did your parents have any idea? Like, were they aware of the thought, or like did they know
No,
about
they were
it?
thinking about Autumn having a baby and being grandparents.
Oh yeah, duh, no.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
crazy to think of your parents as grandparents.
Yeah.
Dude, how old are your parents?
My dad's like 47 or 48, and then
Dude, your dad looks like 35.
yeah, he's good. I got good genes, man.
Yeah.
It's also the way he dresses and his hair and all that.
Yeah.
And his like personality. He's like such a young dude.
Yeah, Loki has hair too.
No, I think
Hey, Isaac,
Wait, Isaac.
what happened to your sister, Autumn?
I don't know. She either just had a delayed period or there was a miscarriage. I don't know. It was really
Wait,
early.
is she vegan?
No, she's a lot of meat.
Wait, Isaac.
Yeah.
What did your parents say? Or like
Yeah,
how?
so I was like, I have something to say. I was like, it's not bad, but I wanted to let you guys know before I left. And I was like, I've done psychedelics. And then they were just like, they didn't even really react.
Yeah, I feel like doing stuff like that is so good to like get off your chest because it leads to like new experiences.
Well, I'm a
Dude, I thought your mom was gonna be like, dude, I thought Hopi Time was gonna be like, oh, Isaac.
I'm so disappointed.
I'm a fervent believer that the quickest way to connect with, and the best way to connect with people is you either one, go through like a life or like a hardship together, or two, you tell them something that like you tell a secret, so it was actually really bonding when I told them, and I feel a lot closer to them. I feel like they do too.
Dude, I felt so good when I told my dad I smoked weed.
Yeah,
Like-
that's awesome.
Like that there was such a weight on my chest for such a long time that I did, and when I finally did, like it's like just I just feel closer. Like it just makes
That's
me
what
feel
I'm
good.
saying.
Like
When
also just
when
not
you
having
tell
shit to
someone the truth,
hide.
it's bonding.
mhm.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing with like farting around your girlfriend or something.
Yeah, bro. You're just comfortable.
Hey, Isaac, didn't your parents say they took shrooms like recently?
Yeah, so then my mom was like, oh, well, how was it? And like, no, it's good. And we were talking about it, and like, she was asking about it, and then I don't know how it happened, but then she was just like,
That's crazy.
Well, also,
yeah,
I feel
me and
like,
Mike, when we were on our trip in the Badlands, we did mushroom. We ate a mushroom. I was like, what?
We ate a mushroom. What the hell?
And then they were telling me the story about it. They got attacked. Dude, I swear, every time you do psychedelics, weird stuff happens. They got attacked, or not attacked, but a buffalo came right above them. She almost got bit by a rattlesnake. Some other weird stuff happened to them all on the same trip.
dude, I feel like
Jesus.
psychedelics have no sort of like stigma because like nobody like there's just not enough information about them to the point where they're like. I mean, also your parents are chill, and I feel like
There's definitely a stigma.
Oh,
though,
there's such.
around, like
My
acid,
sister,
dude.
my sister was like
really.
so shocked when I told her.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, she's so she like hasn't done anything. So
But that's more like because she's anti-drug, though, right?
yeah.
I feel like the people that like drink, like they don't know shit
Dude.
about psychedelics.
There's definitely a stigma around acid. Shrooms, not as much though.
Why?
Just because like the word acid, probably,
Oh, because it's like a scary.
or because
word.
it's like made in the
Oh,
lab.
let's get back to this meaning stuff.
In the black community, acid apparently is like when white people do crack. That's what A$AP Rocky said. Because no one does it.
Acid is like when white people do crack.
Mhm.
Nah.
That's what A$AP Rocky said, dude. I feel like that's a good.
What does
Yeah,
that
because
even
you know,
mean?
A$AP Rocky knows all.
Yeah, he would. He's like the perfect person for that.
What does that even mean though?
Like, it would be like if Ollie was like, dude, I did crack. We'd all be like, what? Well, probably not because Ollie, but if Najib said he did crack, we'd be like, what?
But acid doesn't like make you crazy. And I mean, I don't know
Oh,
enough.
I know.
about
I'm saying the
Wait,
stigma around it.
crack cocaine? Like cocaine? Or
Yeah, I'm
crack?
saying the people in
I
the
don't know.
black community, they do crack cocaine as much as the white community does acid, is what I'm trying to say. Or that's what
Yeah.
he said.
Dude, I feel like
I don't
crack
know.
is just like a bad word in my opinion. Like I think of crack when I think of like heroin when I hear crack, or like hidden shit from pipes.
You just got a match.
But yeah, cocaine and acid. Yeah, I get that. I guess.
What were you gonna say about meaning, Najib?
Did you want to get back to it?
I was just saying, let's get back to that.
Yo, I'm
Why
gonna
don't you
dip
guys
in
talk
like
about-
10 minutes.
I'll dip when this sesh runs out.
How much time we have left here?
We got a lot of time. What were you gonna say, Najib?
I'm just saying, I want to hear you guys talk about it more.
Start the conversation.
Yeah,
Question?
Mister, I want to listen to other
Yeah,
people.
dude, say something.
I want to listen to you guys.
Give us a question.
I don't know what were you guys talking about before you switched.
I was talking about the
That's what I
romantic
learned.
idea that life is inherent, that science can't measure it, but it's first person. You can experience meaning. It's an experience. It's not something you can measure.
So it's still subjective.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying it does. It's real, but because it's inherently subjective. Yeah, it's by the
Yeah,
language it would be subjective, but you still experience it as real.
Yeah, but it's subjective. Like people experience. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's the same way taste is subjective. Everybody experiences taste, but they're subjective.
Well, taste is like color in the same like theory.
That's what I'm saying. That's like the one flaw of science is you can't measure it because
Not
it's
yet.
personal.
Well, I feel like the thing is like with taste and color, there's like a agreed upon. There's like a consensus. Like even though everybody's experiencing different things, and there's like I guess there's more of a margin of error because I don't really like the whole idea of everybody seeing color different. Like there's so many people. I feel like a lot of people line up in some way, but like that's like besides the point. I feel like there's generally a consensus of how like it doesn't really matter what we're all seeing, but we all agree that like my shirt is green or whatever. Like
What the heck? That shit's a zebra shirt. That's not green.
well, the lines are green, or like
Let's see the green.
or like
I'm
this
just
is
messing
this is
with you,
red.
baby.
This is red. Like Just in general, like there's a consensus.
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense that we would see different stuff because, well, we have genetic similarities. So
It's a fun thought to entertain, though.
I'm assuming, Najib, you want to talk about objective meaning from God,
No.
is what you were
Well,
going to say?
You guys talk about it.
Well, I think God's baloney,
Me too.
or Christian God.
Why do you think that? Prove it.
I think the burden of proof is on the person that says the stuff that you can't measure in reality.
Well, you can't measure whether God exists or doesn't exist. You're making a claim that he doesn't exist. So you have the burden of truth just as much as I do.
No,
Yeah.
because you're claiming in the supernatural.
And you're claiming in the ability to measure to see whether or not there is a supernatural. It's the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
Why would that be the same thing?
Because
It'd be like someone saying, I saw a unicorn. It wouldn't be us to prove to him that there isn't a unicorn. It'd be up for him to show evidence there is a unicorn, because he's making the evidence that isn't in a line with everyday normal physics and reality that we see.
no, it's still the same thing.
So if somebody said, I saw a unicorn, you're saying it would be it's your burden to prove them false?
It's not the same thing with the unicorn, because the unicorn is a material thing. But when we're talking about the immaterial,
Okay, ghost.
yeah, you can't measure. Yeah, you can't measure the immaterial. So
Yeah,
you can't say, yeah, but you can measure the material like the unicorn. So you can't say that the immaterial doesn't exist, because you can't measure whether it does or whether it doesn't. So you can't make that.
So if I
back it
said
up.
to you, I met a dude that saw a ghost yesterday, well, how would you react to that? Wouldn't you not believe him?
I would probably not believe him, but you'd have to explain why you wouldn't believe him. It's the immaterial.
This would be a good topic for next week, but I feel like people are hallucinating when they see that stuff. It's like an element of reality, but they're like,
So as
their
a tell
mind's
me
tricking
why you
them.
think it's baloney?
Because it just, I mean, we've talked about this many times, but I don't think I would want to worship a God that would allow so much pointless suffering.
Okay, so then that's a moral issue. You're not providing any evidence for the lack of the existence of a God.
Yeah,
You're
'cause
just saying
no
because it
evidence-
doesn't. What
there's
you're
no
saying
evidence
is
for a
because
God.
it doesn't fit my moral compass, therefore it can't exist. It cannot exist. That's what your argument is right there.
Okay, I'll make a different argument then. There's no physical evidence for God.
Well, I would say otherwise. I would say there's
Okay, give me
plenty
the
of
physical
evidence.
evidence.
Okay, there's plenty of evidence that the man named Jesus Christ existed, and there's plenty of evidence that he resurrected from the dead. There's more evidence that he resurrected from the dead than there is that he didn't.
Hey,
And
what's the evidence?
well, you got writings dating back from 10 years after he died from the apostles, and you got the empty tomb that still exists now. You got writings from the Romans that during that time who would write about him. You got writings from Greek people in the Greek areas. You got writings from some most famous Jewish authors talking about how there's a man that exists. I don't know how many kilometers away. That's apparently people are saying that he creates miracles. You got hundreds or thousands of people from all over the world at the time saying it. You got an empty tomb. You take out the history at the time. There's a lot of fucking evidence. Just no.
I've never really looked at the Bible as like a history book. Like it's like
I'm talking outside of the Bible. Everything I just told you.
okay, just like all the
Most of what I just told you now is everything outside of the Bible. Then the Bible has a ton of other evidence too. If you look at the Bible in like a historical point of view.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would say to that, like I said before, just
Okay, I'm gonna dip now.
you can
See you guys.
Hi, David.
Okay, so you can say that there is Jesus, and I don't think Jesus. I think Jesus existed, and he's probably like Buddha, and he was probably an enlightened being. He might have done some ayahuasca or something. You know,
Yeah,
he's seen
because
visions.
raising somebody from the dead is something a enlightened being like Buddha would have done, or somebody
I'm
high on
saying,
ayahuasca would have
and
done.
then like I said before, there's people that claim to do magical stuff like walk on
Yeah,
water
I know you said.
and millions of people.
Yeah,
Now,
and you
this
haven't
was
shown me
100 years.
evidence for that. And even if that exists, it's still not the same thing. It's not the same thing because that's not historical evidence. That's just eyewitness accounts. Jesus has both the historical evidence and the eyewitness accounts to the case.
What historical evidence
Physical.
does he have of miracles?
The Roman writings and the Jewish writings. There was one, like the most famous Jewish author at the time, or no, he's really famous now. I mean, like his books, Roman writings, Greek writings, all
What
of
did they
them
say exactly?
talking about that there was a man who's performing these supernatural things. I don't know exactly word for word. I don't remember, but they're essentially what they're talking about is like a man who was supposedly people are talking about him. And he's performing these supernatural things. There are in their quotes in these books from Roman writers, famous Roman writers and famous Greek writers and Jewish writers.
Yeah, so
You
how
can
is
look it
that
up.
different from eyewitness?
You can
That's
find
just
all the
them. That's
texts.
just them writing about eyewitness.
That's historical evidence, and then there's the empty tomb, and there's the historical motivations if you look at those at the time, and there's all that. There's things beyond just eyewitness accounts. Plus, haven't really seen any of the evidence you provided me for whatever.
I'll send you
a
that
bunch of guys.
after this call. But how is those people writing about it, not just writing about eyewitness? They're saying there's a man that supposedly did miracles. How is that the same as just people saying that there's a man that did miracles?
Well, it's first of all, it's not eyewitness. They didn't see it. They didn't witness it. They heard
Yeah, but
about
they're
it,
writing about people that
and it
did.
traveled. And these are people that lived like across countries and Greece and all these. So you could tell word made around. Like it was on a national level at the time, or I should say international level at the time. So it's not the same as a group of people who are in the same village as this one guy who they worship, like a cult type of thing, going around telling people, spreading the same story about this one guy.
I mean, there's people right now who believe in aliens and think that they've seen aliens, or there's people that believe in the flat Earth, and it's all across the country. It's a big community, just like what you're saying, with the people that they saw Jesus do stuff. And maybe he might have done some crazy stuff. I don't know if it was supernatural.
Well, I'm telling you that there's a lot of evidence for it. And
How can
I've
you
seen evidence
document
now.
something?
I've seen evidence in Lebanon. There are videos in Lebanon if you look up now. Statues of the Virgin Mary or saints with oil and sometimes blood coming out of their eyes. And I've seen there's a video on YouTube. You can actually see the thing crying. When I was in Lebanon, this thing happened where they took the bottle of the saint, when a saint died, they drained his blood like 200 years ago. They put it in a bottle and they buried it with him. Or they buried it somewhere. No, they put it somewhere in a museum or something. I don't exactly remember, but they found the thing was leaking his blood. And I have a video of it. I could send you if you want. And you see the blood and whatever coming out of that bottle. Like just this weird supernatural stuff that happens, biblical occurrences that are happening now. There's a whole New York Times article written in 1999 about a miracle that happened in Lebanon. Of this statue in a town in Lebanon of Saint Charbel. How 10,000 people went over there, and apparently he cured a blind man and a paralyzed boy and whatnot, and the statue moved and did the sign of the cross. It's all on a New York Times article from 1999 or 97. So there's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on, a lot of evidence that would support all that stuff.
Would you not say
this?
Would you not say there's a lot of non-Christian crazy stuff that happens like that?
What determines whether or not it's non-Christian?
Like aliens or something.
Well, I think you could say that could be a Christian whatever occurrence that is perceived as something that isn't Christian.
But aren't you saying that the reason it proves God is because the Christian people that are doing the miracles?
There weren't Christian people doing the miracles. There was statues and objects.
Yeah, so Christian stuff.
Yeah, in a Christian population.
So what if crazy stuff
Christian
happens
things-
in a non-Christian population?
Well, it'd have to. Wait, what do you mean? I'm confused. What you're talking about?
Like when people see aliens, do you think that
Yeah.
would prove God?
What do you mean by see aliens? No, I don't think it proves. Yeah.
Because it's not Christian, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, because it's not supernatural.
Yeah, how would seeing aliens prove God? I don't get that.
Aliens
No.
aren't supernatural.
I'm not saying that proves God. I'm trying to make the point that Najib is saying that because it's Christian things that are happening, that would be the proof that it's that God exists, the Christian God. Because
Yeah, because they're biblical things that occur.
if there is like some Muslim prophet doing this crazy stuff, would that prove that?
Oh yeah, it could.
So
yeah.
by your logic, if
there's legitimate miracles,
yeah,
I'm
so
not
now
saying-
I'm saying,
I'm not
what
saying
about the
miracles
people
would-
that see crazy stuff like aliens and it's not Christian?
aliens aren't supernatural
Why is that not supernatural?
because aliens are within the universe. They're material beings.
Well, the statue is in the universe. It's
Yeah, but it's doing
Material.
it's performing supernatural things. It's
yeah, the aliens are
It's-
doing supernatural
No, they're
stuff like flying.
That's not supernatural. What shit are you telling me right now? We fly in airplanes all the time. That makes us supernatural. Supernatural is things that defy laws of physics that cannot possibly happen, like a statue crying blood, or like an inanimate object moving, or curing a paralyzed person or a blind man. And there's thousands of eyewitness reports, and I know people who were there, who they saw it, and there's a New York Times article written about it. It's one of the biggest things that happened in Lebanon.
So a flying metal object that doesn't make any sound.
Is not supernatural, and I don't understand how you think that's supernatural. A Tesla car does not make any sound.
Because it's so far beyond anything. It would be like.
Do you understand what
statue
supernatural is? Dude, supernatural means it cannot possibly happen. Like it makes no, like it is beyond the natural. It is transcendent. It is beyond the universe. It is not.
Yeah, I know. An alien ship flying without making sounds, to me, would be supernatural. If someone explained it to me, then I
Or
wouldn't.
the technology though, like
Yeah, I know, but that's like saying, oh, they healed this person. We could perform miracles with our medicine right now that would be considered a miracle 2,000
Okay,
years
so
ago.
you're saying a paralyzed boy or a blind man touching a statue, which instantly cured his blindness. That's something we can do with medicine. That's something of the natural.
No, I don't think that's natural.
So there's my point.
But I don't think an alien ship flying is natural either.
I think that is completely within the realm of supernatural because we do that now. We have drones that fly and they don't make any noise. I don't understand what you're saying.
Not at the level.
I understand what you're saying, but it doesn't make any sense.
dude, Isaac, by your logic, like squirrels would think we're supernatural.
Yeah.
But Isaac's logic is what I don't understand is instantly supernatural. That's what Isaac's
Yeah, I
saying.
don't understand.
Not
it
me
either.
specifically, just that isn't in the realm
Yeah.
of everyday technology. If someone came from the future and they're like, oh, teleportation is a future technology, I would still consider that supernatural because we don't have no idea how to do that. So it also would
Yeah,
seem supernatural.
but again, so with that logic, you would think that a blind man touching a statue that cures his blindness is automatically something that
Who knows in 100, yeah, I'm saying that's supernatural. Maybe in a million years, we figure out that touching this rock cures.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, Isaac.
What?
Your blindness.
Yes,
No,
I'm not
That's not
saying that-
possible, bro.
I understand your logic.
bro. Yeah, in the logic we right now have of physics, the alien spottings are not possible by our laws of physics right now
Why not?
because they have no engine or anything and they're floating. It's like they're flying and they just go. We don't have any technology or any idea how that would possibly happen. So yes, I would call it supernatural.
I
If we
would not
do
call
figure
that
out, if we do figure it out, then it wouldn't be supernatural. Just as if we figured out how. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I think you're wrong. I understand what you're saying. Jake, how'd you do in that bio class last year?
I got like a B minus, but
Are
I
the
was
tests
pass fail, so
are the tests hard?
um for me, yeah, they were. I got like a D minus on the first test, and it was kind of
Okay.
amazing.
How many chapters was the first? The first one just 6 chapters, or did she give you more?
I don't remember honestly.
All right.
It's so
That's-
long ago for me.
Also, the reason I don't believe in God is makes no sense to me at all why a God would care about a little speck of dust with people on it in the whole universe.
Well, by the logic, he's a god, so he can do whatever he wants. God
Yeah.
wouldn't. A god is omnipotent, so he doesn't really have that sense of us. This is, you know, I don't know how to word it. Of Yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's the same concept.
Wait,
It's a god. He
what-
can do whatever he wants.
Isn't like I just thought of something that I would disagree with you on, I think. So wouldn't because the reason you say like when we were talking about absolutes and you're saying they have to live forever, you know?
No, I mean, but you go, yeah, but it's not just that. Go ahead.
But that's one of the things, right? So
No, to be absolute, you'd have to have existed, always existed. Like, it's not that you live forever. It's just you were never
isn't it in the
created.
Christian doctrine, correct me if I'm wrong, is once you die, you go to heaven and you live forever?
Yeah, your soul. What do you mean you live? Yeah,
So what's the difference between us and God?
because God has always existed and we haven't.
So we came into existence. Our soul was created during contraception.
Whenever God created us, yeah, God created us. We're not infinite beings. Even if we stay in heaven forever, we're still not infinite beings. Our souls are not infinite because they have been created. In order for something to be infinite or absolute, it would have to have always existed. It would never had it creating. That's why time is not infinite. People think is time is never ending, but there was a moment in time where time, space, and matter was created. That means time cannot possibly be infinite. I think that was like Aristotle's theory or somebody.
The unmoved mover.
No, just the time one. But yeah, he also stated unmoved.
There's less than a minute left. Yeah, so the babies that get aborted, like why would they come to Earth? Their souls. They didn't even have it's just a waste of their time coming down to Earth.
Yeah. Well, you're making it. Well, again, you're saying a waste of time. God doesn't have a sense of time, and you're also saying you're making a moral argument.
Yeah, that doesn't
for
seem
what God-
logically, morally consistent.
Right. You're using your own subjective compass of what is logical and what isn't. You can't versus a God. So it's not. It stands no ground. Really.
Yeah,
It's
but
just-
then if I can't make any logical, like if anything doesn't make logical sense to me, then you can use that same argument for anything. Like
What do you mean?
you could say you're not logical enough to even understand God's rules.
Yeah, we're not.
So then then how could we
on our
follow
own, we're
rules
not.
that we don't even understand?
Because on our own we can't understand them, but that's why Jesus came down and God came in the flesh and there's the Bible and all that.
But how would we
Well, let's join another Zoom call.
Okay.
To leave and go do homework, guys.
Hi Jake. Happy birthday, bro. Good luck.
See you. Thank you. I'll let you know how it goes.
All right.